So my name is Tamika, I'm 27 and I have something called Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a type of blood cancer. So back in November, I was at work one day in the office and I just randomly, I don't even know how I felt it, but I just randomly brushed up against my neck and I just felt this lump here and I was like, what the hell is that? And I'm not gonna lie, the first thing I thought it was cancer. And I even got one of my colleagues to feel it. I was like, what is that? I was like, can you feel that as well? Because I think it's weird. And I sent a picture to my flatmate straight away. He's a doctor. And I said, you need to look at this when I get home. Anyway, so I got my flatmate to look at it when I got home. And she said, it's probably just a swollen lymph node. I'd had a cold, in Halloween. So she was like, it's probably just a swollen lymph node. But obviously, go see the GP. And the GP said exactly the same thing. He said, it's probably just a swollen lymph node. So come back in a month. And if it hasn't gone away, then we'll look at doing an ultrasound for you. So spoiler alert, it didn't go away within a month. And also I felt more. I felt there was kind of the biggish one there. Then I felt two tiny smaller ones. Anyway, I called them up after a month and I said, it still hasn't gone away. I was like, I need you to do an ultrasound for me, please. And luckily they didn't make me go back to the GP. They just scheduled an ultrasound for me, which I actually thought was kind of really good from the GP. So I went and I did my ultrasound at a hospital and it was really strange because I knew that I could feel that they were going over both sides and I was like, oh, okay, so clearly there's lumps on both sides. The guy doing the ultrasound asked me if I'd had tuberculosis recently, which I didn't. So after that, they obviously found some stuff and they wanted to rule out cancer and whatever. So they said that I needed to get a needle biopsy.
I can't imagine what she must be going through. I really can't. I guess you wouldn't really know how you're feeling because all of these things are going on. You're going for tests, you're going to doctor's appointments, you're trying to see what it is, trying to work out, trying to diagnose it properly to see if it is, cancer, which, in her case it was. Just that whole thing, it must be so mentally and just physically just draining and just scary. She seems quite, a strong girl, just by the way she's telling this story and what she's gone through. She seems but obviously we don't know how people are actually feeling inside, but we can obviously assume that she would be scared.
And they did preface this by saying needle biopsies never really are conclusive. So I was like, great, why are we doing this? But we did it anyway. So a needle biopsy is basically where they just have this needle, and I don't know if I still can see the scar, but they just did it over there. And it wasn't the most pleasant experience, but they do give you local anaesthetic. And to be honest, at this point in time, I was kind of the consultant had been telling me, oh, you're a healthy 27-year-old, you're probably going to be fine. He told me that there was that they were kind of looking for lymphoma, but he said it's a very low chance that you'll have it. So I was kind of in oh, we're just ruling this out, I'm fine, there's nothing going to be wrong. So I didn't take anyone with me to the needle biopsy, and I kind of wish I had, although the nurse held my hand while I cried the whole time, so she was really nice. But yeah, we did the needle biopsy and the results came back inconclusive, so kind of a waste of time. So they booked me in for what they call a cervical node excision, and I was like, cervical, this has got nothing to do with my cervix, but apparently that's just what they call it. But basically they booked me in for surgery, and I had I went under general anaesthetic, and they took out one lymph node to test it, and I did bring my mum, and I told her kind of what was going on this time around, because I knew I needed support at this point in time. So yeah, they took one out, the surgery went fine, and they said that the results would be ready within 1 week. So my whole family trekked up to London and we went to go see the consultant, and he went, oh, you'll be really disappointed, when he saw all of us in the waiting room. And I was like, excuse me? And he goes, we don't have the results yet. And I was like, Kind of rude as well. Like, can't you just bring us into the room and then tell us that? Then the following Thursday, yeah, I was going to get my nails done and I was in the salon and I got a phone call, and it was the consultant who said that I'd never speak to him again. Voila. And yeah, he just said, "Hi Tamika, just wanted to let you know that we have the results and you have something called classic Hodgkin's lymphoma, and yeah, and you'll get a call from a team to ask you to come in and speak to you." And I was just kind of like, obviously I was in a little bit of shock. He didn't say anything like, "Are you at home? Are you like sat down?" I literally was sat with like my phone like this in the salon and my nails like this. I was like, I was like, oh God. And I went straight into the office afterwards. I think I was kind of like in shock. I was like, yeah, it was kind of rude of him, but he was rude the whole way through. So yeah. Anyway, luckily my nail salon lady was so nice, and she saw that I was crying a tiny bit, and she gave me a tissue, and then she just, I like asked her a question about her wedding or something, and I think she took that as her cue to like chat like there was no tomorrow and distract me from whatever news I'd gotten. But basically I got transferred to hospitals, and my new hospital, which is the Royal Marsden, is hands down so amazing. Like, everyone's been so nice there, and I've had a really, really pleasant experience since with them. But yeah, kind of not the way that I expected to get the news. Anyway, a lot of people who think that they have symptoms of Hodgkin's lymphoma kind of like reach out to me and say, "How did you know?" Well, I think the best thing that I did was push for that ultrasound, because that ultrasound was what set everything in motion. And it can be really scary getting a diagnosis, but my advice would be to make sure you have support from the very beginning. I found it really difficult telling all my friends, and I kind of wish I'd told them what I was looking for sooner on, or looking to rule out, rather than having found out and then telling them all. But obviously it's you know, different to different people. But I can just send my love to anyone who's going through a journey like this. Any questions, my DMs are always open.
I want to give her a hug. It sounds like, by what she said, she's kept it in, like she's really sort of kept all this like to herself, not really told her friends about it till afterwards, and you know, trying to process it, like go through it herself. It must be so hard. That's such a hard thing to do. It's like, you know, when you're going through a rough time in life and you know, you don't really tell anyone about it, and you kind of feel like you can just, you know, handle it by your own, and you know, just go through it by yourself. It can get really draining, I would say, because you don't really have anything, like you don't really have anyone at that point to, you know, sort of let out to, and just kind of like let out your emotions, let out what you're feeling, and let out everything that you've kind of, you know, gone through. You know, you don't have that sort of release. So, and it sounds like she's got like a lot of, you know, pent up emotion. And the fact that she said that she, you know, she had to like push for an ultrasound as well. So, you know, she had to make sure that that actually happened, to then find out that she does have cancer. It's scary, because if she didn't, then God knows what would have happened. Such an awful thing to have to go through, and I hope that, you know, she's got a strong support system now, like around her with her family and friends. She doesn't seem that the type to, you know, well, she did say it, she said that she didn't really tell anyone, and she kept herself to herself, and you can see that. You can see by the way she's talking about her experience and like her journey and stuff. It's an awful thing to have to go through, but I really hope she's okay. I really do. Like I said, I hope she's got, you know, strong family, strong friends around her, because that's really important. That's what she'd need. That would be, you know, a big help as well for her, you know, to go through all of this. So yeah, I really hope she's okay. Seems like such a sweet girl as well. Beautiful girl as well.